What's up, everybody? It's Chris Denman in St. Louis, Missouri. This is Drinks with the Band. We've got Ben Nichols from Lucero tonight. Very excited. One of my favorite songwriters and artists of all time. So very pumped for everyone out there to see this. We do this each and every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, and I want to say thanks to Jack Daniels for making that possible. Speaking of Jack Daniels, my co-host, the great E.T. Takaski, he's a U.S. ambassador for Jack Daniels. What's up, E.T.?
Hey, pal. How are you?
I'm ready, man. You got a great drink prepared. We've got a new partner in Music Record Shop. We're going to have a QR code tonight. We got the new album from Lucero coming out. People can actually scan that during the show. We're going to have that up and available throughout the show. You can pre-order the new album through that QR code. So excited to have them on board. Wanted to say thanks. Yeah, right? We're doing it. Wanted to say thanks to the Kransberg Arts Foundation here in St. Louis, as well as our friends at Snappy Bigman Coffee and St. Louis Counseling Services. E.T., you've been here for a season and a half, a season and 3/4 of this show. Few people might be new tonight with our friends from Lucero joining. So here's how the show works. E.T. and I cut it up. We make a drink, hang out, maybe hear a story. Then we bring on Ben from Lucero. He's going to play 4 songs, chat it up, and we expect you guys to share the stream. You can win prizes and let us know where you're watching from tonight. So, E.T., let's get into it, buddy. What's the drink tonight?
Let's do it. Tonight we're going to do a drink I call the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. So it's a riff on a drink called a Boulevardier.
Okay.
So Boulevardier is basically a whiskey Negroni. So if you've ever had a Negroni, gin, sweet vermouth, Campari. So this is just a riff on that with whiskey and then a riff on that riff. So it's our own special drink tonight.
You know, you treat me well, and we bring all these people into our homes each and every Wednesday, and I think the only way to do it is with a great drink. So thank you. And if you haven't tuned in, I am what's known as an expert-level mixologist / bartender, and I take it to another.
Can you show that certificate you got?
Oh, it's I think it's in the mail.
Gotcha.
Got it. Yeah.
Right.
I think this is a good one for tonight. Ben's going to be joining us from his bar in his basement. He's all hooked up and ready to roll. So I feel like this is worthy of Ben and Lucero. So let's get into it, man.
Beautiful. All right. So this is fancy sounding, but it's really just 3 equal part recipe. So we're just going to take 1 ounce of Jack Daniels rye, pour that in.
See.
And you can pour it in anything.
If you want to avoid the write-up, you use one of these. So I'm gonna stay on the good grace.
Got to keep your A from the health department. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Okay, we got it.
So 1 ounce of Jack rye, love it.
Did you say 2?
Well, if you're making 2, then yeah, do it.
Sure.
Or if you're making 1 giant one, just make sure you're responsible with it.
I'm an above-average size person, so I'm gonna go with an above-average recipe
All right.
tonight.
There you go. Well, now equal parts, whatever you just poured of the Jack rye, I'm going to do 1 ounce of Aperol, which is Campari's sweeter little cousin.
On it. Gotcha.
On it. Love it.
Now, these are Lucero shows. They can get rowdy. People enjoy a cocktail or two, but it's all love. It's a good time. So I feel like this is a drink that would do well at that show.
Yeah, it's fun. Delicious. Nutritious, good for you. All right, and then last we'll do a little ginger liqueur. Whatever you got. I'm doing 1 ounce. You do you.
I'm doing it. You ever have this happen?
Maybe. Not live on TV like this right now.
I think that's.
Of course, I've exploded shaking tins.
Right. On to people.
No, like while I'm doing a demo and I'm supposed to be the professional, like I'll do like a cream drink that explodes all over me and I'm wearing all black. Fun stuff like that.
Yeah, good times.
I cut my hand once demoing when I was doing a training. Like, I should know what I'm doing, and then I cut my hand.
So if you're just tuning in, this is Drinks with the Band. We'll have Ben Nichols on in just a bit. But E.T. is the U.S. ambassador for Jack Daniels. He's based in Los Angeles, and he's an expert at these things. So I like hearing when those things happen. And you'll do these things for large crowds, for famous folks, all those things that happen. I'm trying to think.
It's always the bigger, the more how bad the mistake is, right? If it's one
Right.
person, I nail it. And then you give me 1,000 people, and there's sure to be something I do dumb.
That's how it goes.
All right, let's fill some ice up.
Yep.
And then, now this drink, typically, if anyone cares, when you do all spirits, it's a stirred drink versus shaken. Shaken usually is when you have juices and syrup, a lot of stuff like that. However, because you have a liqueur and you have Aperol, they're a little bit heavier. I don't mind if someone shakes it because you do need that dilution to make this drink right. But if you're going to stir it, just really give it a good stir.
It's the real deal.
And then get your fresh glass of ice. Gonna strain this baby. And then a little orange twist on top. Get some of those oils. Get a nice aroma. There you have Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Yeah. Happy Wednesday.
To you. So we've got Ben from Lucero jumping on, and we've got this QR code. Again, you can scan that. Our friends at Music Record Shop will hook you up. You can get 10% off. You sign up for the mail list, and you can pre-order the new album. So we do prizes here. ET, maybe disconnect and jump back on. I'm thinking we've got a little scramble going. It's like whenever you were growing up and you thought you could get the channel, you're like, I think I see something.
All right, let me jump on and
You
off.
did that in Philly. And while ET is doing that, I'll just remind everybody, Ben will be jumping on. We'll have 4 songs. We do this each and every week. Coming up, we've got our friend Sadler Vaden jumping on. He plays guitar in the 400 unit with Jason Isbell. And then we also have the Minx coming up. We've got 4 dates left, and we'll have the rest of those. There you go. Look how clean that looks. Look at the Minx. They're going to be cool. And then we've got Sadler as well. ET, you look so much better now. We can see the drink. We can see your face. We're rocking and rolling.
Awesome.
How are we going to do the prize this week? This looks like a good one, by the way.
Yeah, so this prize is what I'm calling the Hope for the Future prize. So we have a Jack Daniel's Rye, pretty kick-ass little backpack. But if you're not traveling because of the current climate, you don't need a backpack. What I'm saying is you're going to need this soon. And I hope it's sooner than later. So
Yes.
I want this to be that beacon for someone where they I can't wait to strap that on my back, fill up some day or weekend trip and go. So it's going to happen soon.
Let's see if we can see. You've got a nice setup. I want to see if we can get a close up in there of your setup. I see all the bottles and everything in the back. So maybe we can zero in on that in a second. But real quick, how do we want people to enter to win this prize? So we've got one to give away. We've also got a Lucero t-shirt to give away. How do you want them to participate?
So am I going pixelated again? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what's happening. It's one of those things. We're all used to it by now, right? Here and there.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. People just want the prize. That's all they care about.
Yeah, they want the prize.
They know you're a handsome devil.
So in order to get the prize, I figured everyone had that first album or the record or tape or CD, whatever, however old you are, the one that changed your world.
Yes.
Right. And I think everyone has one. For me, I've told you a lot that my parents gave me music, and my mother hasn't had, because I've been migrating it from Philly to LA over the past couple of years, but a really kick-ass record collection that I was not really supposed to touch without supervision, which meant touch it as soon as no one's looking. And I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. Now, the Beatles and the Stones were what I was mostly raised on the rock side, but kids in school start talking about music, and I think the first thing we did was we all read The Doors' No One Here Gets Out Alive. And after that, I started hearing about this Led Zeppelin band. So, of course, when my parents were out, I went and checked my mom's record collection, and I found Led Zeppelin 4. And no one told me about it. No one said you got to hear Stairway to Heaven or anything like that. I just found that record and literally never looked. It's not even my favorite Zeppelin record at this point, but that is the record that put Zeppelin and me really loving music on the map.
That's
so
incredible.
my challenge is let's put let's see what other people think is the record that changed their lives, and we'll pick one of them, and they're going to win that nifty backpack.
That's amazing, and ET always hooks up on the prizes, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. So drop your, I guess, seminal album, right, in the comments.
Yeah, the album that really made you love music, that made you not, go from, if you're boy band or whatever, like kid rock that you're not kid rock, but when you're a little kid and it's something that you're listening to from a cartoon into I love music.
Right. No, that's a huge thing. And I don't know if it coincides with like the first CD I got, which was like Mine, and it was Mine, Green Day's Dookie. That was where like the age worked out for that for me. Or like if it was like feeling like I got one over, like liking Blink-182 in 6th grade before the other kids did, or something
right.
dumb like that. Or if it's AC/DC, like Razor's Edge, or something that you're in third grade playing air guitar, busting out all over the place. So let us know in the comments. We'll hook somebody up with a prize with your the album that kind of really got you started on music. Another prize that we have is a T-shirt from Lucero. Jack Daniels makes it possible. This comes directly from the Lucero merch store, and we're going to hook you guys up with that. All you have to do to be entered to win for that, share the stream. Let people know that we're having a good time tonight. Cheers to everybody. We've got prizes for you. We'll get to Ben in just a moment. E.T., you've got just a treasure chest of good stories, and Ben does as well, so I'm excited to talk to him. Anything you need to share tonight? By the way, shout out to our moms in Philly and Southeast Missouri, respectively, on the evening.
The only thing I'll say, I don't have anything incredibly special, except like I normally do, I spent the day listening to Ben and Lucero, and man, are they good songs. So it just constantly reminds me from that day when I was a little kid in my mom's record collection to today, where music can really just change your life. It can flip a switch moment. If you're having a bad day or you're tired or whatever it is, there's certain music you can put on to change your world. And today it was Ben and Lucero that kind of got me through a hectic day. So I thank them for that in advance of meeting them or meeting Ben.
Absolutely, too. And something I'll talk to Ben about as well. So your wife is an actor, and you guys are in Los Angeles. She's always working hard, so she understands the business and just how unique it is to break out. So Ben and Lucero, successful band. Ben's brother, Jeff Nichols, has put together as director some of my favorite films ever in the last 10 plus years. The movie Take Shelter, Mud with McConaughey, and I mean, you have Loving that's been out recently. These are films that I think people are going to realize in like another, if they haven't already, these are a big deal. But let's
find out from Ben let's find out what they ate as kids. Like what were they
when we bring him on? Yeah, or it's something like whatever happened in Arkansas and Memphis whenever they were coming up, like we need to get a little piece of that ourselves.
Whatever that if there's a creek that ran behind their house that they used to drink from, whatever it is, I want to bottle that, bring it back.
Pure American creativity and ingenuity was running behind
or that. Or maybe they're just two really talented guys, right?
That happens too, and I guess
but I'd rather hope it's in the creek and I can go fill up some empty Jack bottles and bring them home.
And we'll have to ask Ben too, like in that situation, do you say crick or creek? Like it's one of those things where like we really have to dive deep on that. If we want, we can bring Ben on if you're into it.
I said let's do it. I want to hear how this all happened.
Absolutely. Ben Nichols, he's from Lucero. You guys can get the new album. Again, hit that QR code in the bottom. You can pre-order the new album. Ben Nichols, you've had a very busy day. You've been playing around on Gun and Garden Magazine's Instagram. You're making the rounds, and you're hanging out with us tonight. First off, cheers to you, sir. Great to see you.
Cheers.
Man, thanks for having me, y'all. Great to be here.
Is there a preference to creek or crick growing up, Ben?
We said creek.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, Arkansas, you're in St. Louis, right?
St. Louis, but I grew up in Farmington, Missouri, if that helps.
Oh, I have no idea where that. No, I don't know where that is.
It's just called Farmington. That's all I wanted to say.
Fair enough. Well, yeah. Yeah, we were in Little Rock, so we were the big city for Arkansas. Yeah. So we say creek. I don't know. Maybe they say crick up in the Ozarks somewhere. I don't know.
Probably so. E.T. is in Los Angeles. He's now, and he grew up in Philly, so he didn't. He's like, a what? A crick?
Who knows? Who knows what they say? They don't have creeks in Philly.
We did. You know what's crazy? There was a creek near our house. We lived like 20, 30 minutes outside the city growing up, and there was a creek, and there was crawfish in there.
Oh man, yeah.
I wish I had known then how much they taste good now, because we could have really brought some food home for dinner.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
E.T., I'm jealous because you don't always get to do this, but Ben and Lucero have a catalog that goes back 20 plus years at this point. You were listening today, and they're new to you. Anything stand out? I like this because E.T.'s a savvy guy. He's around a lot of fun, cool stuff for his work. But I like this because I try and shield some of my fandom sometimes, bringing these great songwriters on and all these things. And I'm like, I don't want to oversell it because I want you to experience it yourself. What did you see from Ben and Lucero today? When you were dancing around in your living room listening to his tunes.
Yeah, so in my house coat, dancing around to Lucero. I will say this: the first thing I noticed was your voice, which is a cool voice, and but then that gets you so far. You need the songs to back it up, and you guys write really fucking good songs. And I was talking to my guitar teacher friend of mine, Carlos Calvo, and I mentioned you were going to be on a show. He's like, "Oh yeah, I know that band. That's a really good fucking band." So
a guitar teacher said we were a good band.
Yeah,
hell yeah. I'm with you. The voice is unique. The songs are pretty good. The guitar playing. Now Brian's gotten really good over the years, but we don't play guitar right. So that's why I'm amazed that we're self-taught, if you will.
Listen, he said he was a big fan of the band. I can't. Now
that's
let me
awesome.
Back up here.
Right. He didn't say you were good. He just said he was a fan.
He didn't say anything you did was good individually, but as a whole, he doesn't turn you off all the time. That's what he said.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great.
No, he was a fan, and he also knew you had an album coming out, so he knew enough to know that.
Great.
He paid enough attention that he knew you had an album coming out.
Well, that's super cool.
Yeah, you're really cool lyrics, and I love listening to people's music. And as you know, I'm sure you don't become a musician if you're not a fan of music. When people write stuff, it affects us differently. So I never really want to hear an artist why they wrote it, because it could be, I was taking out the trash and I cut my toe on a milk bottle and I wrote, this song. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the one that got me through life. Right. That's all it's about. So I never want to, but I do love hearing songs that make you think about things in your life, and that your songs, you can't not do that. They're very,
I appreciate
they
that.
tell stories versus, just music that makes you feel. They also make you think. So
that's great. Man, I welcome aboard. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, E.T.'s the U.S. ambassador for Jack Daniels. This is the point where we say bye, and if you're up for it, Ben, we'll let you kick things off with a song. I think plenty of people in the comments from all over the country and the world are down for that.
Well, I know everyone wants to hear your music. I have one parting question. Is that your bar behind you?
It is. This is my basement bar. We bought this house right after I got married about 5 years ago. My wife's from Northeast Ohio, so we're out in the middle of nowhere, about 45 minutes south of Cleveland. But these old people that we bought it from built this bar. And I'm like, this is the one we're buying. Yeah. This is the house we're buying. This is.
There's no closet space. Like, yeah, but there's a bar in the basement.
But there's a bar. and my wife let me drill just for this. My wife let me drill a hole in the living room floor and run a 50-foot Ethernet cable down to the bar, so that I could do proper live streams from here. So
now we know why I married her. She's cool.
She's awesome. She's the best. But yeah, thank you for that. I got to try that drink out. It looks delicious. Yeah, I did some voiceovers for some Jack Daniels commercials at one point in time.
Did you?
Yeah, for a little bit. I did a few commercials. It was, I don't know how I got the gig. Somebody somewhere.
Voice, right? You heard your voice.
Yeah, right.
Somebody was like, well, the real guy dropped out. Who can we get? And they called me. And but yeah, it was a pleasure. It was awesome. I was glad to.
Nice, good stuff.
So yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, very
Yeah,
cool.
man. Good to meet you. And like I said, dig your stuff. So looking forward to hearing you.
Well, thank you. All right, time to play a song, I guess.
Let's hear one. Let's kick it off. We've got 4 songs. If you guys get a chance, we've got the QR code. You can pre-order the new album. Ben, take it away, my friend.
All right, let's start with, this is off the new record, the When You Found Me record. This is kind of the most serious song I guess I'll play for the night. But this one's called Coffin Nails. It's a family song about fathers and sons and stuff. Well, something from dark came down the night John Rufus died. It landed on the window sill and there cried all night. We could not see the shape of it, wailing filled the air. We knew not what it looked like, but we knew why it was there. And I weigh my deeds on my father's scales, and I balance them with coffin nails. And I moved off the family farm in 1954, rising and out of Fort Root since I came back from the war. Well, he died on the Ides March just before the dawn. Mama stayed up with him till that howling thing was gone. And I weigh my deeds on my father's sake, and I balance them with coffin nails. Things we carry in war, things we carry now. Every ounce that it can't seem to set them down. Can't seem to set them down. Well, something from the dark came down. I still hear its song. Did it follow from the old world? Had it been here all along? Banshee didn't seem to bother when it was wartime. Death and sorrow, too many people cried. I weigh my deeds on my father's scales, and I balance them with coffin nails. And I weigh my deeds on my father's scales, and I balance them with coffin nails. Cheers, y'all.
When You Found Me, let's make it happen, guys. We got that QR code for the pre-order. Let's support Lucero and rock this out. There's a freaking pandemic, and he's hanging out in his basement that he drilled a hole into the floor just for you guys tonight. A lot of people very happy in the comments. And Ben, it's great.
Oh, good.
It's great to have you. So St. Louis, we're lucky. It's a regular stop for Lucero. Big shout out to my buddy John Henry, was booking off-Broadway for many years. Yes,
man, it's great. I love off-Broadway, and
it's got to be something. And I spoke to you and Rick before, and I'm curious too. With each album that comes out, with each tour that happens, if you come back, you make new fans, you're seeing old friends. Like, everybody's got a Lucero story about, like, I'm thinking about the last time I went, I was with somebody that I love hanging out with. I just really enjoyed. It was their first time seeing a Lucero show, but like maybe the time before that, a guy from Memphis who did radio. I think he was in a Grizzlies jersey. We're like standing by the side of the stage, like. He got just tore up, but again, it's all love. It's all fun. It's a hell of a time. So I guess at this point, do those venues matter, and do those stories that get told at those shows, do they still mean something to you, or are you human and you're like, man, I'm just tired?
No, hell no. No, those venues, of course they matter, and they matter the most. Those types of places. I could go, all across the country from state to state and, name venues like off Broadway there in St. Louis. That just one of the coolest parts about being in a band like us and going on tour is that you get to pull into a town and you get to walk into this bar that feels like home, whether you're, 100 miles from home or 2,000 miles from home. You've got places all across the country, and off Broadway is one of them. And you walk in and you're like, yeah, I know the bartenders. I know everybody here. It just feels like, it's like Cheers. They call your name when you walk in, and having places like that that's what keeps us going. That's what makes going on tour possible. If it gets bigger than that, and we do bigger places from time to time, and there's nice folks working at those as well.
For sure.
But there's nothing like walking into a little kind of divey bar and, walking up to the bar and saying hi to the bartender and feeling like you're right at home.
Time to clock in. Dad.
Exactly, and here we go. Yeah, exactly. And like you said, it's mainly love. Folks will they'll enjoy some cocktails, but it's usually fairly good spirited. And our fan bases is they're really cool, and we're very lucky to have them. They're super loyal, and they you can tell most shows they're out there taking care of they're looking out for each other and taking care of each other out there. I know a few guys in different towns, they like to drink, but they're bigger guys and they love to be up front and sing along, but they make sure that everybody around them is protected. They kind of shield if somebody's causing a few problems. They'll kind of just shove him out of the way, and they'll kind of police things themselves. And we've got great crowd, great fans.
I like that too, because you notice that, and I'm I'm not small, and I was one of those younger guys that was up front doing that. And then as you get older, you're like, I'm fine in the back. I can still see.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I ain't going up front.
Yeah,
I've got my spot at the bar. I can get a drink very easily.
Exactly.
I'm not moving. That's the spot we're in.
I do want to share this real quick. So we had a woman send us a message, and I just thought I won't tell the whole story. It's so wild. I guess she had brought you a stone in Kentucky last year.
Yeah,
and
with her son.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So
I've got it at home.
So this is wild. So she tells a story. Shout out to Selena, and she's in Kentucky, and she basically she's like, well, Ben means a lot to me. Long story short, like, you were super nice to her, and I guess you read something on stage and all this stuff.
Oh, I don't remember that, but probably so.
So she had like a crazy trip. All these things happen. And then she just like stopped and bought a lottery ticket, like based off of like something from one of your songs, and she won like 10 grand.
No way! That's awesome.
That was the best story. And I was like, what a damn Lucero story! Like,
that makes my night.
Playing a show in Kentucky, and then it ends up with that, and that was almost like
the
winning of the money was like cool, but like she was more excited to talk about what you guys meant to her, and that's Lucero to me.
Man, we got folks that they actually pay attention to the lyrics, and the songs get me through the long nights. That's kind of how Lucero started. It was just something for me to do when the girl down the street won't call you back, or she's with her ex-boyfriend again, and when things aren't going your way, you got something to do. And for me, it was locking myself in a room and just writing these songs, and it just got me through the loneliness and the long nights. And there's folks out there that, they get it and they can relate to it, and they actually pay attention and listen. And they give the songs a chance to kind of sink in. And the fact that there's people out there that really, really care, man, you can't ask for more than that. That's what you're shooting for.
True.
Yeah. As a songwriter, that's what you want.
Yeah, and that's so important too, that people can connect, because just the effort is very apparent. And then whenever you have that payoff, like, you don't always get payoff in life, do you?
Not always, no. Definitely not.
Tell people that it's like we do stuff with comics and entertainers and musicians, all this stuff. And I was talking with, shout out to Monk, he's a great musician himself. He's running the engineering board tonight, or the board engineering tonight.
Oh yeah.
We're just talking about this stuff, and I'm just like, man, you got Ben, who's been on the road and by all accounts has had some success. You have some folks we work with. It never ends. Just so you know, if you're tuning in and you want to do something creative or you want to work hard, you're going to always have to work hard, and you're going to be Ben's level or 20 levels above Ben or 20 levels below Ben, and you're going to have to keep pushing. So to get that to get that feedback is amazing.
It's true. You keep pushing, and I don't know. I'd be doing this again, like I said, just to get me through the long nights, whether anybody was listening or not. And luckily, we've just been around long enough to where we've got a few folks listening. And so, I can go, lock myself in a room and work on a song and, just to get through the tough times. And then, I'm luckily I'm in a spot where maybe some other folks can hear it and maybe it can help. I don't know.
Well, we're here to help tonight. And
that's what you sent me in the email. You're like, hey, Ben, you want to help some people?
We are here for strictly philanthropic reasons. Forget the new album.
Yeah.
Forget people hearing it.
Philanthropy.
Yes. Cheers. Hey, wait. Can you do that?
Cheers.
You got the cheers? Cheers. All right. Cheers to you guys out there listening.
Sorry.
We got a few. Oh, no. We got a few more songs. We got some stories to get to. Man, what a treat it is to have Ben on here with Drinks with the Band. If you haven't yet, go check out that QR code, pre-order the album, and let's get this baby humming so we can get
man.
Let's get it right.
Let's do one more off the new record, and then I'll do a couple older things. This one I haven't played very much, so we'll see if I can pull this off. This is the last single we released for this new When You Found Me record. It's a story about a guy named William Morgan from Toledo, Ohio, and the lyrics don't have a lot to do with Ohio, but the chorus is still pretty awesome.
I'm going to learn a little bit more about him after the song.
We'll talk.
It's very obvious in the song that this is a bad dude.
Man, he's got an interesting life. All right, this one's called Back in Ohio. On the open ocean, sailing down to Cuba. Guns are in the galley. Someone's gotta shoot him. Way, way, oh. Destiny awaits. Sailing to redemption. And then I'll miss you back home in Ohio. Back in Ohio. You're doing out in a circus. Now you're fighting in the jungle. You got babies in Miami. A rebel foreign lover. Way, way, oh. Destiny awaits. Sailing to redemption. They'll miss you back home in Ohio. Back in Ohio. Looking down the barrels of 20 loaded guns. All the letters written and all the fighting's been done. A man without a country ain't getting out alive. They never collect the bounty. You're still left to pay the price. Way, way, oh. Destiny awaits. Sailing to redemption. Now I miss you back home in way, way, oh. Your destiny awaits. You're sailing to redemption, but they'll miss you back home in Ohio. Back in Ohio. Back in Ohio. Back in Ohio. little back in Ohio there.
Talk about a wild man. I love how you paint a picture of. First of all, is your brother gonna make a movie about this guy? Like this is one of his dudes.
We'll see. The funny part is, like, I first heard about this guy. I was just flipping through Amazon looking for something to watch, and stumbled across this PBS documentary called American Commandante. It's like only an hour, maybe hour 15 minutes long. It's short, but it tells his whole story about this guy, Billy Morgan, from Toledo, Ohio. He was a paratrooper, kind of in between World War II and Korea. He went to Japan. He went AWOL for a girl. He punched out at the guard and escaped. Went to Leavenworth. Did a few years in Leavenworth. Went back to Toledo, worked for the mob. Joined the circus. Threw knives. Got really good with knives. Traveled with the circus. Ended up marrying a snake charmer in Miami, having a couple kids there. He's got a kid in Japan. He's got a couple kids in Miami. Then he hears about this whole Cuba thing.
Yeah.
Knows some mob people. Runs some guns to Cuba. Doesn't just drop the guns off. Gets off the boat. Joins the rebels in the Escambray Mountains, and he teaches them how to throw knives. And he was a 101st Airborne paratrooper, so he teaches them how to fight. These are like, teenage kids, college kids that join the revolution, that want to get rid of Batista, the dictator. And then all of a sudden this guy, and he's a pudgy white guy that can't speak Spanish, but he shows up and he teaches them, some stuff he learned in the paratroopers and some stuff he learned in the circus. And so, yeah, he ends up becoming a commandante in the rebel forces and helps. They link up with Che and they link up with Castro and they kick Batista out. And he's one of the lieutenants, one of the main dudes. But then of course Castro goes communist and Morgan ends up in front of a firing squad at La Cabana prison in Havana. So he was kind of a screw up back home and he wanted to prove himself and he wanted to, he was very idealistic and romantic and he wanted to make a difference and be somebody. And he did. He ended up being part of this crazy, big historical event. But just his whole life kind of arc fascinated me. And I wrote this, back in Ohio, I was kind of trying to rip off Warren Zevon, maybe, like the Lawyers, Guns and Money, or the Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner. But really, it's just kind of a cheesy rock and roll song that just kind of scratches the surface of his life. His life is so much more than these kind of simple rock and roll lyrics I wrote, but it still makes a really good rock and roll song.
It makes a perfect rock and roll song. And shout out to folks in the comments. Somebody let us know that this will be that'll be really, really well received at a sold out Lucero show. Like that song is going to be,
especially when we play Cleveland or Columbus. It'll be real good.
It doesn't even matter what they're about. If your state is in the name of the song, you got to enjoy.
Oh, it's a bonus. Of course. You're like, all right, we're closing with this one, guys. But I totally interrupted I told a horribly long story that just interrupted my original story, which was I saw this documentary. And then I immediately called my brother, Jeff, because I was like, I just saw the coolest story. I saw the best documentary. We've got to make a movie about this guy. And Jeff's like, nope, too late. George Clooney owns the rights. I'm like, He's like, yeah, there's a New Yorker article, and Clooney owned the rights to it. He's like, nope, we can't do it. I'm like, well, hell.
Serious?
100%. And then,
great lines.
But then a couple years pass. I write the song, and then Jeff's like, you know what? Clooney sold the rights to, I'm not sure who exactly, but whoever he sold the rights to just called me and asked if I would write the screenplay and possibly direct the movie. I'm like, well, look at that.
It's full circle.
Yeah. So, and now, who knows? Now with COVID and everything, Jeff's got like 5 or 6 projects lined up. So we'll see if it ever actually gets made. But he wrote a great screenplay for it, and it's in the pipeline, kind of. But
we should tell people,
see.
If you're not aware, movies like Mud, Loving, Take Shelter, your brother's, he's going to go down as like one of the greatest American directors, and I mean that.
Yeah.
Like it's
he's the talented one.
Oh, kidding.
Yeah.
So what we were discussing that too. Like it's so wild whenever you have two siblings that go into entertainment and can provide for themselves in that nature. But like,
well, the funny
that's
part
such a
is,
unique thing.
Yeah, I don't know how, well, we can go into the whole family dynamics and family history in a little bit. But yeah, the funny part is we've got a third brother who's a criminal defense attorney down in Austin. And he's actually the smartest one of the bunch.
Right.
I'm the dumbest by far. And then there's Jeff, and then there's Matt. And Matt is he might be a little too smart for his own good.
Sure.
That kind of, there might be. You ever seen Better Call Saul? There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a criminal defense attorney, but a criminal defense attorney.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Criminal.
But he's,
period. Yeah. Defense attorney. Yeah.
But he's brilliant. He's he introduced me to all sorts of music and movies, and just he's got great taste in everything. And he's a smart kid. So yeah, somehow maybe growing up together, I don't know, we fought a lot, but maybe we pushed each other a little bit too, just to.
It has to be something along those lines. I mean, family, anybody else involved in any kind of endeavors like the three of you?
I don't know. My grandmother was kind of a self-made businesswoman. She grew up poor, picking cotton in Alzheimer, Arkansas. And then my mom's side of the family, they delivered gas to the cotton farms. Like nobody came from much money. They all came from Alzheimer, Arkansas, which is out near Pine Bluff for anybody that knows Arkansas. It's about an hour southeast of Little Rock. But my grandmother, Mama Betty, she was a great businesswoman. She was real sharp. And so, I don't know, maybe we get some of the, we all work for ourselves.
Sure.
We're all kind of our own business owners, I guess, kind of in a way. So maybe we got that from her.
There's something to be said. Like, I know there's been just a lot of, and people are still struggling today, so I'm not in any way saying that, like, any fights are over, but you think about some of the stuff that, like, just do the math on that. Like, your grandma coming up and working hard and doing those things. I think about that all the time.
Man.
Yeah. My favorite's I'm thinking of my grandma. She didn't go to college, and she ended up working at a bank. And then she worked her way up to loan officer. And she's like, you know what that meant in the 70s or 60s, whenever? And she's like, I had to go to trailers that didn't have electricity and tell them they could no longer have their boat. And she's like, and I'm like, holy, yeah. And then on top of it, like, that's a tough thing. And then you have like a small woman telling you that, like, that stuff is not fun. But yeah.
So you got to be, you got to be smart and tough.
Gotta be, man.
Yeah, and that was my grandmom for sure. That was my granddad, who she was married to for a little bit. He was the World War II vet, and there's an old Lucero song called "The War" that's kind of in his voice from his point of view, and then that Coffin Nail song that I played first.
Right.
That's another song that's kind of from his point of view about his dad passing, and yeah. I don't know. I take a lot of inspiration from my family for sure.
No, I think that's super important, because if you can tap into that side, like, it takes you to another level where you couldn't achieve it with an outside thing. It's this intrinsical, weird, crazy thing that if you have that ability, like, it's apparent. So yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you've been home quite a bit. We were talking about this, a few different artists, and man, you play all over the country. You had a story, I believe it was in Portland. And it involves a gentleman who's taken off over the last during the pandemic.
Yeah.
He put out two versions of albums, but you've been at it, I guess, 20 years touring, 20 plus?
Over, yeah. We started our first show was in 98. So
90, that's so
22
wild,
years basically. In April it'll be 23 years, something like that. Crazy.
And to have
That's insane.
And it's wild, and to have your own sound too, because like you could argue, like, is this a punk rock song, or is, like, did they just cover Jawbreaker, or like, what is it? Like,
yeah, we rip a lot of, we steal a lot of stuff but from the good ones, from the best,
from the best, yeah. But it's just interesting that so you see the different bands that fall off and rise and things like that's what I take from it. We're talking about Sturgill Simpson, and what happened in Portland. I love this.
We've played
Portland.
We played one show with Sturgill Simpson. I would love to play some more shows with him, but we have not. And I'm not sure when this show was. I would say 2007. I don't know. It was before It was before Sturgill really became really big. But he opened for us, actually.
Sure.
God forbid. At a chili cook-off in Portland, Oregon.
Portland is where I go for that
For chili.
style.
100%. But now, not one of the chilies tasted like chili. It's Portland.
Yeah.
So you had your salmon, your salmon chili and your vegan turkey.
Now this doubles as a kombucha, man.
Chicken. There was probably a kombucha chili. I swear to God.
Right.
Was kombucha invented in 2007? Probably so.
I think so. Yeah. Officially.
There was probably a kombucha chili. It was as Portland as you could. I love Portland. I love the Pacific Northwest. If I could move anywhere, it might be up there. It's gorgeous. Northern California, Oregon. It's amazing. I'll have him ship it from El Paso. I don't know what. No, I think New York City. The salsa commercial. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. I've been drinking since before this whole thing started.
Well, it's like a real show. It's like at this point, usually I look
authenticity
down,
is. Have we been talking too long?
No. Usually at your shows, this is the point where I'm like, okay, there's this much time left. Like, do I go? Yeah, I'll just start my day at 11 tomorrow. That's
I like your
So
style.
we're trying to give the right experience. So yeah.
But basically, we played this chili cook-off in Portland with Sturgill Simpson, and it was one of the worst Lucero shows ever. I was talking about it the other day somewhere, and I was like, it was the worst show we've ever played. We played 2 sets, and in between sets, the first set was bad because we'd been drinking all day and eating chili. But then in between sets, everybody just bought me shots. And second set, I couldn't finish the song. It was just half a song, the intro to a song, a verse of a song. It was horrible.
Rough.
And that's the last time Sturgill Simpson saw us.
And after that day, he became extremely motivated and said that is never.
Man, I'm not gonna give us too much credit, but we do some good in the world, whether we want to or not.
You do. You create.
And Sturgill got down to business.
That's right.
And we've never played a show with him since. But we've had good times.
You have.
On the road.
It's a part of the experience, man. And I know you've got a couple songs left, so if you're tuning in, if you hit the QR code, you can pre-order the new album. Make sure you make that happen. So you've you've always consistently put out not 4-song EPs or anything. You put out full albums pretty regularly over this
we've
last
been
20 plus years, man.
22 years, and we're on record number 10. But we also have a soundtrack, an EP, the soundtrack to Mud. We did most of that. And then the solo record, Last Spell Light in the West, the Texas and Tennessee EP, and some various other things. So, 10 studio records and then the Attic tape. So 11 plus other stuff in 22 years. Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. I'm curious. You said you're going to play some maybe older songs or something like that. At any point in time, because you'll take requests from people in the crowd.
Yeah.
You got to get stumped quite a bit. You have too many damn songs.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, there's some, and I'll be like, what do you want to hear? And I'll just let them shout stuff until somebody shouts what I was planning on playing next. And then I'm like, you got it.
Little trick.
That's how you do that trick. The old magician, I learned that in vaudeville. Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing I do whenever I say, hey, this is Steve, and you can't remember the other person's name, and then you physically kind of push them together,
Yes,
and you hope Steve throws out the handshake and says, hey,
I do that
Steve.
Almost every night.
Well, it's tough. You'd meet too many people, and they can say hi to themselves.
Yeah, I've introduced the girl I'm with to like an old friend just so I can find out her name.
That's so perfect.
That's the old days.
I don't want to keep the people waiting too much. If you got another song, we'll hit that. And then I got to hear, man, family life. You've put out songs about your daughter. You've put out songs about your. Let's talk about a little bit of the family life after this song, if you want.
All right. Well, we've been talking a lot about the drinking. Let's play a drinking song.
I'm in. Now
I said I was going to play some old, and this is technically older than the new record. We put this out a couple months ago, just as a single, all by itself, just because we recorded it and we couldn't fit it on When You Found Me, and I didn't want it to disappear, so we just released it. It lives, and it will continue to live. And you know what? I'm actually working on songs right now that might go with this pretty well. We might record another new record real soon.
You're insane.
We'll see. Man, I'm having a good time.
I love that. And you said your brother's got project too. If you check your brother's IMDb, he's got 2 or 3 in the works, and you know damn well you're going to have a couple songs on that too. I guess you can double up. You can put those songs on.
You get, when you stop and sit still too long, you can think too much and you start getting depressed. It's best to stay busy. This one's about kind of getting busy drinking at the bar. We released it a little bit ago. This is called "Time to Go Home." All right, last song of the night. Thanks for having me. I'm joking. I'll play all 4. Been went up, down, nothing, hanging by a wire. 2 broke men can't seem to win, from the pen to the fucking fire. Carry me home, carry me home. Both know I can't make it on my own. Carry me home, it's time to go home. And I'm a little short on money. Don't you worry about that, 'cause I can tip the bartenders tonight. Come back tomorrow and pay my tab. Carry me home, carry me home. Both know I can't make it on my own. Carry me home, it's time to go home. Every bar I went to, before I reached the door, before I even met you, it was you I was looking for. Carry me home, it's time to go home. Been whittled down to nothing, I'm just hanging by a wire. I'm too broke to mend, can't seem to win, from the pen to the fucking fire. Carry me home, carry me home. Both know I can't make it on my own. Carry me home, it's time to go home. Time to go home.
Ben's bailing. Have a good night, everybody.
No, but I am home is the funny part. That's the
nice
best part
part,
about, man, getting married was awesome. Buying a home in Ohio, pretty cool, because you know what they got in Ohio? Basements.
Yes.
You know what some old people do in basements in Ohio? Build bars.
Can we get a shot in on your bar? We'll do a little bit of that. We'll go back to that bigger shot. Just walk us around. You don't have to walk us around, but give us a quick point through.
Well, it's just there's 2 bar stools, and that's all. So yeah, I'm in one of them. The other bar stool's right there. I got some, I don't know. I got some decorations, you know, whatever, tchotchkes, whatever. It's your typical bar. It's all pretty much Irish whiskey and bourbon. Yeah, I've got 1 bottle of vodka just in case we have guests ever again. Right. Maybe 1 tequila.
Okay.
I like tequila, and I got a Hendrix gin in case I ever buy buy a cucumber. You know, I got some.
If you
I
buy
got
a
some
cucumber
stuff.
by accident, thought it was a zucchini.
I'm like, oh well, I can use the Hendrix.
Yeah, that's the exact move. Man, oh
But
man,
yeah.
it does have to be a bit of a change, man, out on the road and, you know, doing your thing to, you know, you're obviously very happy in your relationship. You got the kids running around. You know, you have your youngest daughter, man. Like,
Keeps me young.
it has to, right? And that influences your songwriting and then just you as a human as well.
sure.
I mean, it's weird because everyone that experiences that obviously has to grow up or they're just, you know, worthless, right?
Now, man, I don't know much about you. You got family? Are you a married man? Are you
I'm not
divorced
married.
man?
Yeah,
You
never married,
single,
no kids.
Never married.
Yeah.
Do you mind? You don't have to answer this, or you can lie. How
Break
old?
it down. I'm
How old?
36. 36.
Oh yeah, okay. I got 10 years on you. So 1984, born in 84. Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, I remember 84. That's 5th grade. Van Halen was really popular in 84.
Yes, they so were. Yeah.
I remember going to Target and buying that cassette tape. And my mother.
Venture. Did they
What?
have Venture? Venture was a store back in the day. Sorry. So you
That I
went back
don't
to look
remember.
at- Okay.
They had a Target. We had
Okay.
Target in
All
84.
right. Yeah, Little Rock, you were high society. I get it.
It was a big. We had Piggly Wigglies too. Yes.
Piggly Wiggly was in Missouri as well. Yes.
Oh yeah. I think that might have started in Memphis. I'm not sure, but yes, I bought the '84 Van Halen 1984 with the baby with the little cherub smoking a cigarette. Yeah, Mom from Little Rock, Arkansas, or from Alzheimer, Arkansas,
Yes.
not happy with that purchase. No. She's like, you're 10. You're buying a cassette tape with a baby smoking a cigarette.
How
I'm
about?
like, yeah, I am.
I had.
I mean, you're buying it actually, Mom, because I don't have any money because I'm 10.
Same thing happened. My mom's the coolest person on the planet. You know, watching right now. I'm sure.
I'm sure our moms. I'm sure they're probably in the chat room.
Oh yeah, making friends. Hey, don't be
Yes,
surprised.
exactly. Exchanging recipes.
If you get a comment from my mom, be like, "Hey, great show! You were all with my son Chris."
Man,
I love it.
I can't wait to hear from her.
Oh man, but no, that same thing happened to me with Nirvana, and you're like, the Nirvana album. She's like, all of a sudden, she's like, "Are you worshiping the devil? Like, what's going on here?"
There is a naked baby. There is a naked baby
That is
on this
not
record
gonna
cover.
fly. Exactly, that's a problem where we're from, pal. So
Man,
no,
my
back to it.
my mom let me keep the records. She even the
Same
questionable ones. So I got to give her credit for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm 36. You were saying, so you were going to break something down for me. So
Oh, God.
you got the family, and you've made change. You've got songs about your I think that's an interesting thing in somebody's life that has a unique profession like yours. That we get to see that story chronicled in such a. We think it's normal, but that's the thing that changes people, and it makes them do certain things or act certain ways, or it takes them on that positive path that maybe they weren't going to go on. So
Yeah, I
finding
don't
that
like
person you
positive.
love, and,
I don't like that path.
and having your daughter. I mean, break it down. I mean, we've heard it in the songs, and you're very obviously just having a great life. But that changed
Yeah.
for you. Give it to me.
Yeah, I like sad songs, and when I'm listening to music, just on my own, it's the sad, melancholy stuff that I still gravitate to, and it's always been that way. Well, I don't know. I'm a split personality. There's the other side that loves just rock and roll, just balls to the wall, rock and roll. And so, I don't know, maybe it's bipolar. I go back and forth between the two. But writing-wise, it's always been the kind of sad stuff that gets me through. And yeah, I had plenty of, I don't know, in the old days, yeah, maybe there was a little too much whiskey on certain nights, and maybe there's some, I don't know, dating the wrong women sometimes, and I don't know. Everybody has their rough times.
Sure.
But the music that's produced in the rough times is some of my favorite. So yeah, I was just as worried as all the other Lucero fans when I got married and found an awesome young lady to get married to and settle down with. And it's like, well, what the hell's he gonna write songs about?
Right.
And the funny part is, it happened pretty quick. Among the Ghosts, don't get me wrong, I love this new record. When You Found Me, I've read some good reviews of it. I've read some bad reviews. The bad review I read was actually very well written, and I agree with a lot of his points. But I disagree with the fact that he thought it was a bad record. I think he missed some of the good stuff. But I really like our last record, Among the Ghosts, quite a bit.
Fantastic.
And that's the first record I wrote here in this house with my wife and my daughter running around. And but COVID hadn't happened yet, so I was still gone. Maybe not quite half the year, but almost half the year. I was just gone. And I had an infant daughter and teenage stepdaughters and a wife that was working all the time, full time. And I had to leave. And I just wanted, as much as I love music and I love the fans and I love playing rock and roll, I mean, I don't know how I got this lucky. Just getting to do this as a job and pay bills by doing this. Somebody's going to figure out that I'm running a scam someday, and it's all going to come to a crashing halt.
Pitching movies that George Clooney's interested in to your brother?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just, yeah. Yeah, I can name drop all night long.
You should be able to. And this is my public service announcement time. Just because things can get buried, and maybe people will be like, hey, idiot, we all have Spotify just like you. But a song that, Take Shelter, that you wrote that
for
song
the movie,
for your brother's movie. Man, that's a classic. And I don't know that everybody knows about that quite as much as the others.
No, because it only turned up, I think, on the soundtrack.
Michael Shannon, just by the in your short film.
Oh my
I'm just gonna keep talking about everything.
Dude,
yeah.
And man, I don't know how long your show usually is.
I don't
but
care.
We should probably make it a little bit longer.
We're doing it, man. If you have a problem, feel free to go to bed, guys. If you're having a good time,
I've got a lot of whiskey here. I can keep going for quite a while.
You know who makes the show possible? These people right here. And you know what?
Thank you, Jack Daniels.
Yes,
thank you, Jack Daniels.
The voice of Jack Daniels.
For a little bit there, yeah. I probably did 5 or 6 commercials for him.
That's so great.
And they were awesome. I'm not sure what ad agency it was or who I was working with, but they were awesome dudes. And they were all from Boston, so they had, like, some Boston accents. And they thought...
You're saying to them, you're like, you sound so crazy.
I can't understand what
you sound so crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, can you say... we had to translate some of the scripts, but no, it worked out well. And like I've told people I posted this on Instagram that I was going to be doing this Jack Daniels thing tonight, and they're like, "Oh, well, you don't drink Jack Daniels all the time. You used to drink Jameson," and I did. I drank a lot of Jameson.
Sure.
And I've drank a lot of. Now I got into a bourbon phase. I'm on a rye whiskey phase now. So exactly, I thought that drink sounded very interesting.
It is.
But when I first started drinking, and I didn't drink until I was well over age. I was like, I was sober until I was 24, maybe.
Might tune into these
it's
things
weird.
now.
Exactly. Izzy, if you're listening, your father did not get drunk for the first time until he was 23, maybe 24.
How old were you when you wrote Drink Till You're Gone, or Drink Till We're Gone?
24. I was 24 years old.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
But you were
but
Jack and
I
Coke.
started off with Jack and Cokes. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Jack and Cokes was the drink. And so yeah. There's plenty of good booze out there. Yeah. Why limit yourself to one?
And
you can
why
spread the money around.
Exactly. And why not drink it at a Lucero show? I'm trying to think
agree.
too. So I'm hearing, and I say this like I'm anybody, I'm hearing July, August, kind of some normal stuff.
Right.
Our friends, we're here in the building, the Kransberg Arts Foundation. They've got a big festival kicking off in September, Music at the
Hopefully.
Intersection. Talked to some awesome dudes in Kentucky that they're doing Railbird, I believe. They're looking at like August, July. And my friend John Henry, Open Highway. He's
Right.
They're looking at these late summer dates, man.
We're looking at them too.
Yeah, is that where you guys are at right now? You're kind of just keeping an eye on things?
But you got to play it by ear. And, hopefully the vaccines kick in. My parents just got the vaccine back in Arkansas, their first round. Depending on where you are, hopefully the vaccine will start rolling out faster. And hopefully that'll make a pretty good impact. Of course, you still got to be careful, even once you've got the vaccine. Yeah. But just it all depends on the numbers. If the numbers are still going up, then maybe you got to wait a little bit longer than summertime. Yeah. We've got an outdoor show planned in Tennessee at the Caverns in March, actually. But it's socially distanced. It's outdoors. We're going to give it a shot. That'll be the first live show we've played since March of 2020, beginning of March of 2020. So I'll probably be extra nervous. I'll probably bring my own flask.
Okay.
And who knows how it's going to go.
I know some people that can fill that flask for you.
You know, when this whole thing's over, I'm going to send you a DM of some kind. Yeah.
Swing by again. Yeah. And you know what? If you have to stay cooped up for longer, the Drinks with the Band residency featuring Ben Nichols and Lucero. There it is.
Man, I'll do this anytime. This is awesome.
Man, it is. It's so fun to see it. And I know we've got another song, but we're going to keep chatting and letting people know. T-shirt. We've got a T-shirt we're going to give away. Hit share, and we'll pick a winner. And there's been so many
I like the new
people.
shirts.
How nice. First of all, let's talk about this. You got the single Outrun the Moon, too. And then the album cover. Man, it's and it's a little more, it feels like...
Look at you guys.
Yeah, check that out.
You guys are on point tonight.
It makes me feel like those books that were like futuristic looking, like kind of 70s artwork. The Choose Your Own Adventure, or the sci-fi things that I would see in our library as a kid. But I'm thinking too, like from what I've heard, Outrun the Moon, and then you back in Ohio, a little more rock influence this time around.
There's some, yeah. It's that nostalgia that I have for. I was born in '74, so I was 10 in 1984, and so that's the '80s. You know, I was 6 to 16 in the '80s. So that was a big time period for me, where I don't know, even the stuff that I didn't like, it's still, you know,
it seeps in.
It worked its way in there, and it's still there. And now I love stuff that, you know, at the time I rebelled against. At the time I wanted to be from anywhere but Little Rock, Arkansas. Just anywhere would be cooler than that. Yeah. Why wasn't I born in California or New York or someplace cool? And then I grew up and realized, you know what? Arkansas is actually just fine. It's got an interesting history. Some of it's bad, but some of it's really pretty and really good. And guys like Johnny Cash and Levon Helm are from Arkansas.
Absolutely.
And you're like, well, God damn it. And that's why Jeff wants to make as many movies as he can, you know, in Arkansas, because we're real proud of where we're from. We know
it's nice to be able to come back to that. Like,
yeah,
it's a shame if you don't eventually lock back into appreciating what made you.
I kind of figure most folks, it's probably the same. I don't know. You have a rebellion period, and then you have kind of a rediscovery phase, and then, you know, you end up with a nice balance somewhere where you like everything that the world has to offer. But yeah, I hope most people appreciate home, you know.
Yeah, you do. And
if you don't, it's tough.
Right. It is tough too, and I totally understand if something's happened that makes
you
not want to go back home.
100%. 100%.
It's amazing. Let's knock out that last song. You don't have to go right after, buddy. What are you feeling for the last one?
I'm going out on a limb for the last one. We hadn't played this song. We learned it for the Christmas show.
Yeah.
It's off of 1372 Overland Park, and I hadn't played it in maybe, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years, I don't know. But we relearned it for that. But that was over a month ago. So now I'm going to try it again. I've got the lyrics here. So how bad can you screw it up if you've got the lyrics right in front of you? We'll see.
Well, I believe in you.
You know what? I'll tell you, you can still screw it up pretty bad.
It happens.
Just a fair warning. You know what? I'm going to finish this drink, and then we're going to tackle this last song.
And
Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, hang on. I got to...
Oh, take your time. Pour a little bit more.
Yeah,
you're not driving home.
Certainly not.
And I am home. You don't live there in that studio, do you?
I feel like
I live here
a lot of times at Midcoast.
I can just walk upstairs and go to bed. Can you say the same thing?
Can you meet a woman on the way to bed?
A very sexy, awesome woman. Yes, I can.
Look at, he reeled it right back in.
Man, I got it. Man, I am. Cheers, y'all. Thank you very much.
Cheers to her and you. Man, it's snowing here. What's up in Ohio?
It's snowing here too.
I sat there today and I was like, all I thought about was just, I was like, oh, okay, it's a dusting, we'll make it through. But all I could think about is that just everyone loses their absolute shit.
Well,
whether it's,
yeah, a dusting in Ohio versus a dusting in Missouri are
Right.
two totally different things.
way different things.
Yeah. Now up here it's pretty easy. Like, nothing shuts down. School's never canceled. There's no.
Right.
It snows and people
Or hardy
do
folk.
their everyday stuff. In Memphis, it snows. Everybody, it's the grocery stores have empty shelves and
That's my favorite. Milk
Yeah.
and
milk and bread
milk
and
bread
eggs.
here. Yeah, apparently
And
it's a
nothing.
St. Louis thing for. Maybe it's everywhere. People make French
it's
toast
anywhere in the
during those
South.
Things? Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, because you got to use the eggs and the and the bread before they go bad. So you make.
Okay.
Now here's a question: are you a powdered sugar on your French toast or a syrup on your French toast? Kind of.
Man, if I'm gonna be honest, and Ben, I feel like I can be.
I think you have to be right now.
If I'm gonna go through, I had to pick either. I'm gonna go syrup, I guess. Yeah.
Holy moly! That just proved to me that Missouri is a northern state. If you were
I'm just
closer to
thinking,
New Orleans, you would
I'm
have
gonna-
to put
That's
powdered
true.
sugar
Yeah, that's a thing.
on the French toast.
Okay.
And do you use on the good days? My mom would actually use French bread, to make the
Oui,
French
oui.
toast.
Is that right?
Ha-ha, if you will.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I do like that the French
With
aren't
powdered
protected.
sugar on top of it.
We can attack their accents with impunity. I love that. I'll never forget working at a brewery and a French gentleman coming in. I'm 21 or whatever I am, and he's like, "Hamburger," and he kept saying it. I was like, am I being punked right now? Do you really say hamburger whenever that happens? So
I have no
French.
idea what you're talking about right now. No,
Yeah.
I've never met one of those kind of French guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now we know.
Now we know.
On my,
Yeah.
on my
No,
list to talk
I think
about French
all of
people.
mine were like kind of like Monty Python parodies of French people that I was just working off of right there. I don't know.
that was
I
great.
toured in France with a different band, and they were awesome. They were what band? This was 1999 maybe, and I went on tour with the Gasselheads, a French punk rock band, and this was a different band I was in, but it was all of us in this green. It was before Sprinter vans or these,
Yeah.
there were Euro vans way back then in Europe. No windows, dark green, and these French guys. There were 5 of them. There were 5 of us, 10 guys, but there was a loft built in it, so you could squeeze 2 bands worth of equipment in the back,
Of course.
and then you could all sit kind of like this. They had like theater seating in there, but not, but small theater.
Yeah. Great memory.
And they all smoked with the windows closed because it was very cold in
Are you
France.
serious?
Yeah, 100%. And it was a learning experience.
And he sounded, and that's why your voice is so great to this day.
Yeah, and then
Freaking hotbox.
from that day on.
Oh, it's perfect.
Okay, I'll play
feel
your one
confident?
last song.
All right.
Oh God, not one bit. But let's tackle it. Let's go. All right.
Ben Nichols, everybody.
And this is how you play guitar on just these 2 strings right there. That's all you got to do. That's all you need. Other people like to play the other ones. Not me, brother. This is called What Are You Willing to Lose off a 1372 over the Park. I think. Yeah. It's probably on 1372. Has to be. Probably. I can't see the comment section, so it doesn't really. God bless America. Thanks for having me, y'all. What if all my heroes are losing kind? Well, we ended up with nothing, but we put up a fight. Most of it was choices, we never had to choose. The rest of it was luck, and now we're out of that too, yeah. What are you willing to lose? What are you willing to lose? And I spend every dollar just to try to earn a dime. I try to make you hate me just to try to make you mine. And now it doesn't really matter if I'm telling you the truth. What you see is all that's left, the rest is up to you now. Now what are you willing to lose? Now what are you willing to lose? Now so far gone, and he's losing fights, just losing kind, and coming all along. And so we keep on. No one else to blame. Going down in flames. So I'm coming all along. Whoops. So what if all my heroes are losing kind? And not a chance to help instead of laying on the line. Would you get it all away for what you want to do? Would you keep on going if you couldn't make it through now? What are you willing to lose? Hell, what are you willing to lose? And so far gone, and he's losing fights, just losing kind. Can't say it's right or wrong. And so we keep on. No one else to blame. Going down in flames, so I'm coming all along. Don't be so shy, girl. We've seen your tendencies before. Woke up next morning with them scattered on my floor. Come on in, oh darling. Can't you cut us all some slack? Cause the winners, they all took off, babe. They're never coming back. They're never coming back. And I'm so far gone. And he's losing fights, just the losing kind. Can't say it's right or wrong. And so we keep on. No one else to blame. Going down in flames, so I'm coming all along. We're so far gone, and I'm so far gone. Still we keep on. No one else to blame. Going down in flames, so I'm coming all along. So I'm coming all along. So I'm coming all along. pretty close. Un poquito.
Damn it, you did it.
I made it all the way through. A couple of mistakes, but I made
Damn
it.
it. No, I'm into that, and everybody did enjoy it in the comments. People are really having a good time. They're saying we got to do something again, so I agree. I think an IG Live would be pretty funny with the two of us kicking it. So maybe we'll look into that in the future, man. That'd be fun.
Man, if we can, it's the Ethernet, man. I'm into the Ethernet now.
You're feeling the Ethernet.
I am. Everything else I've done from here, there's always a glitch, but the Ethernet, I don't. Yeah. Have there been any glitches on your end?
There's maybe a little bit of a mono issue. No glitches. Zero.
Son of a bitch. There's a mono
glitches. Ben caught mono. I guess we'll have to forget about that one.
Well, yeah. Cheers, sir.
Cheers to you, buddy. And cheers to everybody tuning in. I will remind everybody, we've got a couple artists coming up. We'll have a few announced. We've been keeping a few close to the vest, but our friends in the Minx are going to stop by. And shout out to Katie Tupin, by the way. Katie used to be in a band called Houndmouth. Solo artist herself now. We work with her on this. She's a dear friend.
We played with Houndmouth. Like in Paducah, Kentucky or somewhere.
Back in the day, I'm sure.
Back in the day. And they blew us off stage. They were absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
And Katie's still doing it solo, and she booked this. So, shout out to Katie, and we love her. But I just want to say thanks that we'll have the Minx on, and then Sadler Vaden is going to be on in a few weeks. He plays guitar with the 400 unit. And
love
he's great, too, man. He has a reverence for some 90s kind of pop or alternative rock.
I think he's a little younger than me. So yeah, the 90s might be more his era.
He goes into the 90s more.
But no, he's one of those guys that learned how to play his instrument, unlike Lucero.
Well, I think
and when I say that, like obviously Rick knows. Rick is an amazing keyboard player.
if
And
you
Roy,
guys haven't, you guys do a lot of interviews, and a lot of it are you and Rick together, and you'll play, and Rick will bring the accordion, or
with the accordion, it makes it real easy. You do acoustic guitar, accordion, and it sounds so full and good. And yeah, and the rest of the guys can, sleep in or go get their
my favorite
enchiladas.
is my favorite are Rick's stories about touring. He's toured with some big time stadium acts and things
Yes,
like that
sir.
too. So you hear
Yes,
about
sir.
the differences between a Lucero show and a Hank
And a
Williams show.
Bocephus show.
Yeah, a Bocephus
Oh my
show.
gosh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how that works out.
He was there. He was wearing those jeans. He was there doing it.
In the mix,
100%.
man. Dude,
Just playing his ass off.
I can't believe it, and I'm hoping again we get to see you guys live again soon. As far like
Me too.
we're hanging out, we'll just do some silly questions. I'm
Okay.
curious, anything, this is stuff you get asked all the time, but since we're talking Van Halen and everything else,
Oh yeah.
do you have a top three that you think whether they influence you directly or not? I mean, do you have a top three or a top 10 of just musical influences? I love hearing this stuff, and it's obvious Warren Zevon's influenced you quite a bit.
Warren Zevon was he kind of came along when I realized that I liked the classic rock that I grew up on.
Nice.
And and then I rebelled against it and went the punk rock direction for quite a while. And I was like, no, any of that stuff, no. But then Lucero started, and it was like, oh wait, classic country is kind of cool. I like the Hank Senior and
telling my mom to like change the station when I was a kid. If Dolly Parton was on, I'd be like, ugh, country,
Right.
turn it on.
oh mom,
whatever.
no,
Pearl
kids are
Jam or
dumb.
something. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this on the
Yes.
internet right now.
That's
Kids
fair.
are dumb.
That's fair.
Obviously my daughters are the exceptions,
Obviously,
but most kids are dumb.
Yep.
And you gotta teach them what's good. You gotta give them a little direction at least, and then hope that you've instilled them with enough wherewithal to decipher the crap from the shit and the
Crap, shit, classic.
and that's
Yeah.
a lot of times that's all you're presented with. So
Very true.
where were we? Dolly Parton.
You were mentioning just kind of some of your top influential bands.
Oh, the
and
three
we brought up Warren
influence-
Zevon, yeah.
Warren Zevon, of course, he was part of the whole resurgence of, like, I was doing punk rock, got into classic country, of course, the Johnny Cash and the Hank Senior and the Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard, the standards.
Florida
like,
Georgia Line, yeah, the best.
Yeah, if you will. I never met those guys. They're probably
I don't
great
think
guys.
you need
I don't
to.
know.
I don't know. I'm sure they're fun.
I don't know. You've met them?
No, they
You
hang
haven't
out with
met 'em.
Nelly a lot, I think. They put out songs together. I don't need to hang out with those sparkly jeans.
I've hung out with Nelly.
Have you?
I'm joking. No, God,
Okay.
no. No, I haven't. No. I'm not getting past that kind of security.
You sound like a guy from St. Louis. They're like, I saw Nelly at the gym. I saw Nelly at the casino. Everybody's got a I saw Nelly story. So welcome to St.
I like
Louis.
my brother. Okay, this is gonna be a little. It'll be fine. My brother, the attorney, down in Texas.
Yeah.
Single. He's gonna be a bachelor probably forever. He likes to hang out at the strip clubs down there in Austin. There's a song about that called "Raising Hell," and so yeah. But maybe you see the Wilson brothers, Owen Wilson. There's some other actor, Luke Wilson.
They have
Maybe you see
another brother
them
that was in
at the same strip club in Austin, Texas, and maybe you go home the next day and say, "Oh yeah, I partied with the Wilson brothers." Yeah, and it's like, no, you were sitting 4 tables away at a strip club in Austin.
Yeah.
You didn't
Yes.
party with. I mean, you. Okay, fine, you partied with them.
All right, you be a girl that walks out on stage. It's beautiful.
My wife is shaking her head,
Okay,
ashamed.
so Ben's the girl that walks out on stage in Austin, Texas, and then I'll be Owen Wilson. All right, here we go.
Wait, no. Wait, what are we doing?
You're the girl. We're gonna act this out. You
I
just
can't
stand
dance.
there. You just stand there, look beautiful like you are, and I'll be Owen Wilson. Ready? Here we go. Wow. That's it. That's all I gotta do.
Okay, yeah, no, that's I can do a fucking Jack Daniels voiceover, but I'm not an actor. God damn it.
No, you did great. You did great.
I hope that was good enough.
Can you imagine?
I'm out of the whiskey over here. I got to get the whiskey back.
Do your thing. I'll tell people about the time I ran into, I may have seen Michael Irvin at a strip club in St. Louis. The night, it was like one of the last Thursday night professional football games in St. Louis. And I remember looking over like, why am I here? Number one. And why is the playmaker here? Oh, he's calling the game tomorrow, so of course he's got to go here. And I don't mind telling
you got to. I'm not sure who he is, and I'm not
Michael
sure.
Irvin? He's a
this whole football thing that you talk about? I have no idea.
Now you're tapping into punk rock.
Do you mean soccer?
Yeah.
Is that what are you talking about? Soccer?
Yes, exactly. With the gentleman.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Yeah. Well,
there's the gentleman Jack there.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking too. How long's your brother been in Austin? For a while?
Yeah, actually, it was the lawyer that he went down there for college, and he graduated from UT Austin for law school. So he's been down there, since the mid '90s. And then Jeff graduated from film school in North Carolina, and just went to Austin because it was a cool place, and he had a brother there. Ended up working on some cool stuff. The first thing he worked on was a Larry Brown documentary. Larry Brown's an author from Oxford, Mississippi. And one of Jeff's professors was doing a documentary, The Rough South of Larry Brown, which I've had a tough time finding it. If somebody knows how to get a copy of it, let me know, because I would like to see it. I haven't seen it in a long time. But Jeff was like a cameraman. He did some interviews. He did some, B-roll footage. That was kind of his first job after film school. Yeah. But he was in Austin. But then he came and made this Larry Brown documentary. And Larry Brown's worked his way into a number of Lucero songs, just as an influence, mainly. But, so Jeff's been in Austin, and Matt's been in Austin, and, that's where...
Austin's changing so much now, too. It's growing. You've got people leaving other cities in droves. Yeah.
It's tough. I can't afford to move to Austin. I would love to live in the same city as my brothers. Mm-hmm. And my little girl loves going down to visit, but there's just no way. It would be like trying to move to San Francisco,
right,
or Manhattan. I can't afford those kind of
well, you
prices.
can. It's just everybody be sharing rooms and
Bumfuck, Ohio. I can live here.
Living large, man. I need to see. I want to see you pop up. Dave Chappelle's living up there. And I want to see.
We're on the opposite sides of the state. I know exactly. Well, I don't know exactly where he is.
You've cased it. Yeah.
No, but he talks about he's in the Dayton area. Yeah. We're more the Northeast. We're in the Akron, Cleveland area. Gotcha. He's got his thing going. We've split it up. He's got his territory. I kind of got mine.
Well, when I think of Dave Chappelle, I think he's got to check in with Lucero and Ben, wherever.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to, but just out of kindness, he does. It's nice.
Give me the details on this on the new album as far as how much Dave Chappelle's influenced it.
Well, I would call it drastic, a drastic influence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's doing the Netflix stuff now.
Sure, right.
And so we've got I'm watching a lot of Netflix, so I feel like we've got a lot in common.
Yeah,
me and Chappelle.
He's been to Memphis, I'm sure.
Probably. I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. I think this is probably about as far as this story can probably go.
Yep. Cheers to Dave
I think
Chappelle.
so. Man, I love Dave Chappelle. That man is
so
a goddamn genius.
He's a treasure.
Man, he has changed the way I think about this stuff. He is. I will watch an entire special of his on Netflix.
Yeah.
And be thinking he's going one direction, and at the very end he's like, and then bam, I'm like, holy moly. Oh my God, this man, he put it all in perspective for me. Cheers to you, Dave Chappelle.
Cheers to Dave Chappelle. Cheers to your wife and your family and the good people that represent you and for making this stuff happen tonight. All the people that tuned in, man, they're important too. Like, what a great show.
I'm glad that
people texted me saying they felt like they were at a regular concert with you. So, Ben, you're made for this, man.
That's awesome. Man, thank you so much. I had a blast. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I had a really good time. Thank you.
Well, guys, don't be a stranger. Get that album, by the way. Hit the QR code. We got the brand new album. That's a special store we set up. It's got the pre-sale plus some other things available through Music Record Shop. Thanks to them. Thanks to E.T. Great drink tonight. And Jack Daniels for making this happen. Ben, Don't be a stranger, man. Let's do something again soon.
I'll see you again not too far down the road.
We'll do it. Cheers, buddy.
All right. Cheers. Good night, y'all. Thanks.